In the second month after my boyfriend went missing, I saw him on the street. He was arrogantly talking to someone. Missing? Of course it was just an act. My girlfriend was too clingy, so I wanted to teach her a lesson. I asked Carter to help me cover up the lie, and she didn't suspect a thing. Carter was his good friend. I pretended that I hadn't heard anything. When I got home, the man gently hugged me from behind. Did you find any clues about him today? No. I kissed Carter and said with feigned regret, he might really be dead. In the second month after Jason went missing, I accidentally saw him. He was with his friends, still looking as arrogant as ever. Jason, since you've been missing, we hardly get to see you even once. There's nothing I can do. Jason said casually. Arya was too clingy and meddled too much. I had to teach her a lesson. How did you come up with the idea of going missing? I taught him that, said the girl beside Jason, raising her eyebrows happily. With his brain, could he think of such a brilliant idea? He had to rely on me. Yes, you're the best. Jason smiled indulgently. I recognized that girl. Luna, the only girl in Jason's group. But playing such a big trick, won't Arya suspect anything? I asked Carter to help me cover up the lie. There won't be any problem. Everyone suddenly understood. No wonder. With Carter as the backup, who would suspect? Young Master Carter is really reliable. Luna snorted softly. It's clearly because Arya is stupid. I waited for Jason to refute her. But what I got was his low, gentle coaxing. That's right. She's not as smart and pretty as you. The people around them started to jeer, as if they were already used to this. Jason, you might as well just get together with Luna. Why bother looking for a girlfriend? I don't want to date someone within our circle. Get lost. I don't like you either. They disliked each other, but their legs under the table were casually rubbing against each other. At the end of the casual chat, someone asked, staying missing all the time isn't a solution, Jason. When do you plan to go back? Wait. Jason was extremely confident. When Arya is going crazy looking for me, I'll go back. I was supposed to go to the police station to file a report today. But I changed my mind now. I went to buy my favorite snacks and then had a nice SPA. By the time I got home, it was already night. The lights in the house were off. I thought Carter had already left. Just as I put on my slippers, suddenly someone hugged me from behind. My body stiffened, and I asked, did you drink? Carter didn't answer directly. What did you do today? You didn't answer my phone calls. Sorry, I didn't check my phone. Are there any clues about Jason? Alas, no. My tone was full of regret. Carter hugged me even tighter, and his breath blew on my neck. It's all my fault. If I hadn't insisted on dragging him to go mountain climbing, he wouldn't have gone missing. He really seemed to be repenting. If only his warm tongue hadn't brushed against my earlobe. Carter was one of Jason's good friends. After Jason went missing, one of them was in the open, and the other was in the dark. Carter was responsible for playing the role of the repentant one. But it seemed that Jason didn't know. His friend, the way of repenting was a bit special. Carter was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and his family background was even better than Jason's. In front of outsiders, he was cold and self-restrained, and seemed unattainable. I thought so too. Usually, in private, I hardly said a few words to Carter. After graduating from university, I got a job. Unfortunately, the company happened to be one of the industries of Carter's family. Carter became my boss, and the distance between us grew even wider. I got familiar with Carter just a month ago. I suddenly received the news that Jason was missing, and I was devastated for quite a while. As the instigator, Carter felt guilty and said that he would take care of me for a while on behalf of Jason, but he was a bit too meticulous. He had to cook 3 meals a day by himself and bring them to me. I felt so embarrassed and said, Carter, it's not your fault. Jason has always liked outdoor sports. Even without your invitation, he would have planned to climb that mountain by himself. His parents didn't say anything, and I definitely won't blame you. Go and do your own things. I really don't need you here. Put down that piece of clothing. I rushed forward in one step. I snatched my underwear back from his hand. I'll wash these myself. Carter looked serious. I can wash them cleaner. Are you sure you don't want me to help you? Definitely not. I was so embarrassed at that time that I didn't notice. He put his hands behind his back and rubbed them regretfully. How did I discover Carter's other side later? Probably one night when I got up to go to the toilet. I found that Carter was still lingering in my house and hadn't left. I planned to ask him about it. Just as I leaned against the crack of the side bedroom door, I saw that he was shirtless. One hand was holding my lace camisole. The other hand was blocked by the cabinet. In the dim yellow light, Carter tensed the muscles on his back, and the veins on his arms were clearly visible. I was shocked by this scene. I couldn't help making a sound. Carter instantly turned his head. At the moment when he saw me, he tilted his head back. A low, trembling sound came from his Adam's apple. I discovered Carter's secret, and got on his thief ship since then. I knew that I should push him away, that I shouldn't allow his hugs and kisses. But I couldn't control myself. Probably because when I was almost crying my eyes out for Jason, only Carter silently accompanied me. And also because I had already suspected that Jason's disappearance was a scam long ago. How could it be that when a son went missing, his biological parents didn't report it to the police and even stopped me from reporting it? How could it be that when a good friend just went missing, the group continued to have parties and live a dissipated life without any reaction? These doubts were finally confirmed today. All of them joined hands to put on a show for me. Even Carter was an important part of this play. Back to the present. Carter still wouldn't let go of me. I said wearily, "Did you cook?" "I'm so hungry." "Yes, I've cooked. All your favorite dishes. Go and heat them up." "Okay." Carter immediately went to heat the food. He didn't think there was anything wrong with me talking to him in an ordering tone at all. After eating, I took off my inner clothes and threw them to him. "Go and wash them." Carter paused. "Can I?" "Well, I'm tired today and don't want to wash them myself." He seemed to have received an award and carried the clothes into the bathroom. I knew that he wouldn't come out within 20 minutes. After successfully getting Carter out of the way, I unlocked his phone that he had left on the table. Sure enough, Jason had created a WeChat mini account and had been keeping in contact with them all the time. In the first few days, Jason would still ask about my situation. "How's Jaja?" "Carter, she cried for a long time today." "Jason, it's okay. She's always like this. Her crying is so annoying. Thanks for keeping an eye on her." "Carter, when will this farce end?" "Jason, question mark. Carter, if you don't like her, just break up with her. There's no need to play tricks on her." "Jason, I don't dislike her. I just think she's too controlling. She wouldn't even let me go out to drink at midnight." Luna was right. Let her suffer a bit and she'll learn to obey me. Carter didn't reply anymore. With a ding, a group chat popped up and caught my attention. The group name was Princess Juju and Her Three Servants. Princess Juju, new news. Arya cried again yesterday and was seen by colleagues. Servant number 1, Xiao Xiao, I've heard about it too. Princess Juju, my method still works best. Jason, you should treat me to a meal. This was the group of Jason and Luna's group. There were 4 boys in total in the group. 3 of them were numbered as servants. The extra one was Carter. Only he used his real name. I had heard Jason say before. Carter joined this group halfway. I didn't know the specific reason. I guessed that probably because Carter's family business was huge and also involved in investment. Given the personalities of Jason and others, they took the initiative to draw him in. Carter seldom spoke in the group. Almost all the time, it was Jason who echoed Luna. Servant number 1, Xiao Xiao, treat you to a meal? Haven't I treated you to enough meals? I even have a bank card that belongs to you. Because of this, Arya used to quarrel with me a lot before. Princess Juju, I can't help laughing when I think about it. What's our relationship? We've been playing together since we were kids. What is she? She even has the nerve to be jealous. Rolling my eyes. JPG. I think she's just jealous that I have so many male friends. Jason sent an emoji of protecting the princess. Okay, don't be angry. In the future, you can choose first from all the gifts prepared for her. Are you satisfied, Your Highness the Princess? That's more like it. I felt disgusted. I scrolled up a bit more. They chatted almost every day. One would think they were flirting with each other if they didn't know the truth. It turned out that every time Jason was late for a date, it was related to Luna. Even when I was sick and getting an intravenous drip in the hospital alone, he was accompanying Luna. Even the Valentine's Day gift he gave me was the one that Luna didn't want. Another new message popped up. Jason sent a private message to Carter. I remembered another thing. I imitated Carter's style of being concise. On the night of Luna's birthday 2 months ago, I got drunk and spent the night at Luna's place. You mustn't let this slip out. Remember, that night, I was with you, okay? I slowly typed out 4 words. What's going on between you two? Jason, tisk, didn't we agree not to mention it anymore? Luna and I both pretended that nothing happened that night. Otherwise, how could we still be friends? 06 Carter came out of the bathroom. The clothes had been washed already. He looked calm, but the redness at the corners of his eyes hadn't faded yet. I smiled at him and said, "Were your hands useful?" Carter was startled. Although I had already discovered his secret and endured his hugs and kisses, we never took the next step. Is there anything on it? I pointed at my clothes. I've washed them all clean. You can check. Don't worry. I'm not complaining about you. I looked Carter up and down. He was 1.87 meters tall with an almost perfect body proportion. In any way, his appearance was much better than Jason's. I might need you to wash a dress later. What? Carter looked down at me. He hadn't understood the meaning of this sentence yet. I had already taken off my clothes, stood on tiptoe, and took the initiative to kiss him. Carter, Jason might really be dead. I said pitifully, could you stay with me tonight, please? 07 After that day, as long as I beckoned, Carter would come. We had an extraordinary tacit understanding, even better than the one I had with Jason. Carter cared a lot about my feelings. So in terms of experience, it was even better and more enjoyable than being with Jason. Besides, their physiques and stamina were not on the same level at all. I kind of regretted it. Why didn't I take this step earlier? There was no need to waste time on Jason, who was as good as dead. Carter didn't notice anything unusual. Because I had deleted that chat record. Whenever I had the chance, I would use his phone to check the group chat. I didn't look for clues about Jason everywhere these days. Jason got a bit panicked. He had everyone in the group. What's going on? Why has Jeja suddenly stopped looking for me? A friend said, Jason, don't worry. She might be tired recently and doesn't have the energy. Impossible. No matter how tired or busy Jeja is, she would always look for me. Should I go back? Princess Juju, hold on. Keep her hanging for a while longer. If you go back now, all our efforts will be wasted. Jason, no, I have to go back and check tomorrow. Princess Juju, Jason, are you out of your mind? I worked hard to make this plan for you, and you don't follow it. What do you think of me? As a woman, I can understand her little tricks. I guess she might have heard some rumors and wants to force you to show up. Let me deal with her. Jason was silent for a moment. In the end, he still gave in. Okay, I'll do as you say. Even so, Jason was still worried. At night, he quietly called Carter. When the call came in, it happened that I was straddling Carter. It showed as an unknown number. I took the initiative to press the answer button and held the phone to Carter's ear. Hey, buddy. I'm just worried and called to ask about the situation. What's going on with Jeja recently? Carter thought I couldn't hear the voice on the phone clearly and answered vaguely, she's fine. Damn it, Carter. What's wrong with your voice? Is there a woman beside you? How did you tell? Of course I can tell. You're having a good time. Did I interrupt something good? Bring her out to meet us some other day. Jason didn't finish his words. I suddenly said to Carter, are you done with the call? focus. There was a moment of silence on the phone. When he spoke again, Jason's voice changed. Carter, who are you with now? 08 Carter sobered up from the surging desire. He quickly turned down the volume of the phone, and his voice regained calmness. A girl you don't know. But why does her voice sound like Judge's to me? You heard wrong. It's okay. Hang up and don't bother me. Carter hung up the phone. He turned over and hugged me, saying indulgently, let's continue. I'll be very focused from now on. Don't continue. Aren't you afraid that Jason will come here right away? Carter was stunned. I went on to say, he should be hiding in that house on the outskirts of the city, right? It'll only take half an hour to drive here. You heard that? To be honest, I've even seen him already. Carter's expression became complicated. After a long while, he digested all of this. So you already knew that he wasn't missing? Yes. Aren't you angry? I was angry before, but I quickly figured it out. Getting angry with someone like him is just harming my own health. On the day when I saw Jason, I didn't rush forward to argue with him. Nor did I shout or scream. I didn't question him about why he deceived me. He was already so rotten. Could I expect him to say anything nice? I looked at Carter. What about you? Don't you have anything to say? Carter was the only one in their group who had opposed the pretending to be missing plan. I was really curious about what drove him to finally agree to help. I owed him a favor. Carter seemed to have taken off a heavy burden and told me everything he knew. Jason helped me a great deal. He used that to morally blackmail me into helping him, but anyway, I shouldn't have lied to you. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. I'm glad you're in this play. What do you mean? I pinched Carter's chin and smiled. Do you want to betray them and become my accomplice? 09 As I expected, Jason was really worried and came in person. At 1 o'clock in the morning, he quietly entered my house. I rented this house, and Jason's fingerprint could unlock it. I was sleeping soundly under the quilt. The bed was clean. There were no men's items in the bedroom at all. On the bedside table were tissues used to wipe tears and a photo of us. Jason felt relieved. But he didn't know that I was pretending to be asleep. The camera on the table would record his every move. As long as he dared to touch me, Carter, who was watching the surveillance in the basement garage, would rush up immediately. Jason dispelled his doubts and left. He went to see Carter again. They met in a convenience store. Buddy, I'm sorry. I misunderstood you just now. Jason said. It's okay. Where's your female companion? She's sleepy and doesn't want to come out. Her voice really sounds like Judge's. You must bring her out to meet us next time. Carter didn't say anything. Jason looked a bit haggard. Carter, tell me, should I go back? Why do you think so? I haven't been sleeping well recently. Jason took a sip of wine, and his nose and eyes were red. Before, when I was with Judge, I always thought she was too controlling. Now that I'm free, I'm not used to anything. I haven't been able to sleep for several nights. I heard that Judge hasn't asked about my clues this week. I'm so afraid that things have gone too far. Carter comforted him. Don't worry. She hasn't given up on you at all. She even wanted to file a report recently. Don't file a report. It'll be exposed if you do. I know. I stopped her. She hasn't been feeling well this week and just didn't have the time. Is she okay? It's just a cold. It's not a big deal. Jason sighed. I regret making Judge suffer so much. Don't say that. Carter quietly advised him. Think about how she didn't let you go out to drink at midnight before and always quarreled with you because of Luna. This time, just make her more obedient. Then listen to Luna. Keep her hanging for a while longer. After Jason left, Carter took his phone out of the pocket on his chest. How was it? He asked me nervously. Great. Everything was done as I said. I looked at the video camera and smiled slightly. Come back. I'll give you a reward. What I asked Carter to do was very simple. Keep Jason stable and continue to carry out their missing plan. Because I had prepared a big gift for Jason. 3 days later, it happened to be a Saturday. I invited a lot of friends to my home. They were all old classmates of Jason and me. I had carefully decorated the house. There was a photo of Jason hanging in the middle, along with 6 big black characters, "Farewell Party for Jason." My friends were all startled. "Judja, what's going on?" I was dressed in black, looking haggard and downcast. "Jason has been missing for over a month. Why didn't you tell us earlier?" "I was afraid of disturbing your lives. His parents didn't allow me to tell anyone." "Then where is he?" He hasn't been found yet." Everyone gasped. "Oh my God, he hasn't been found for over a month. Then isn't it? I heard that the best rescue time is the golden 72 hours. If it exceeds 72 hours, the chance of survival is very slim." Listening to their discussions, my tears streamed down. "Stop talking. Jejje is already so sad. Alas, they had a good relationship. Jejje must be extremely sad." Everyone comforted me for a while. An old classmate asked, "Didn't the police have any clues?" I shook my head sadly. "No report was filed." "Why didn't you file a report?" "His parents didn't agree. They said they would use the family's resources to look for him." "No wonder. Jason's family is wealthy. They might be afraid that if this kind of thing gets exposed, it will have a bad impact." "That's right. Jason's parents had decent jobs and a glamorous image. It wouldn't be good if this kind of thing got exposed." While wiping the tears from the corners of my eyes, I raised my head and looked at the phone that was broadcasting live not far away. 11 I had already told my friends about it. Because some classmates were far away and couldn't come, I simply started a live broadcast. Let them participate remotely. Everyone had no objections. The netizens were also very enthusiastic. It was rare to see a live farewell party. Soon, a large number of viewers poured into the live broadcast room. Many people who didn't know Jason would also send messages like "Rest in peace" or light virtual candles. Of course, it also triggered some discussions. How could it be that when a son is missing, the parents refuse to file a report? Some netizens questioned, "Yeah, shouldn't they ask the police for help immediately?" I checked. Jason's family is quite powerful. Maybe they have their own rescue team. Missing on Yunling Mountain? That's impossible. My home is near here, and I haven't seen any search and rescue teams around recently. I ignored these discussions. Don't worry. Another main character in this drama would soon make an appearance. Sure enough. Half an hour later, Luna kicked open the door of my house. "Arya, what the hell are you doing?" She rushed in and tore down those gloomy white cloths and photos. "Jason isn't dead at all. What are you up to?" There was still a teardrop hanging from the corner of my eye. I said in shock, "You? What did you say?" "Jason isn't dead. You idiot." Oh, she didn't know that everything was being broadcast live.
许魏义有些不屑地挑眉，嗤笑道。
"Luna, I know you and Jason are good friends, but you don't have to comfort me like this. It's been over a month. I'm already psychologically prepared." After saying that, I cried even more sadly. More and more people were watching the live broadcast. The barrage of comments became even more exciting. "What's wrong with this woman? How can she scold the victim as soon as she comes in? I know this woman. She's the daughter of the Luna family's company. Guys, I'm in the same city. Whoever tells me which neighborhood this is, I'll go and support the victim." Luna was completely unaware of all this. I said that Jason isn't dead, so he isn't. "Don't do these gloomy things, where's the evidence?" I asked. "He was with me until this morning and is alive and well." As soon as these words came out, the whole room fell silent. Everyone looked at her with strange eyes. I forced a smile. "Luna, you can't make such jokes casually. Don't believe me? Take a look at this." Miss Luna showed a selfie on her phone. Jason had gone to buy breakfast for her this morning. Luna was wearing pajamas, and the two of them were squeezed together in the frame, almost sticking to each other. "Arya, to tell you the truth, he pretended to be missing because of you." Luna crossed her arms and looked down at me condescendingly. "Because you're so annoying that Jason couldn't get rid of you, so he could only use this way to avoid you." My face turned pale, and I could hardly stand steadily. I could only rely on my classmates beside me to support me. Are you saying that he didn't want to break up and deliberately use this form of cold violence to deceive me? Don't blame him. Blame yourself. Both of your parents are ordinary wage earners, right? What makes you think you're worthy of Jason? It's just a matter of time before you get dumped. I calculated in my mind. It was the crucial moment. I calmed myself down and asked, Luna, what's your relationship with him exactly? Friends, childhood friends. I was puzzled, really? But as his girlfriend, I knew nothing about his situation. You, however, are you two really just ordinary friends? 13 Luna's words had already aroused the dissatisfaction of netizens. What's wrong with being wage earners? Damn it, my parents are also wage earners, and my grandparents are farmers. Ugh, it's so disgusting. There's still such a snobbish young lady in this day and age. After I asked my question, the barrage of comments became even more lively. It's human nature to watch the drama, Luna said with an unhappy look on her face. Do you understand what childhood friends mean? He's willing to share everything with me. I'm the closest person to him besides his parents. My friend beside me couldn't stand it anymore. You two have no sense of boundaries at all. She's just a mistress, thinking she's noble just because she's hiding under the guise of friendship. It's so disgusting. Jia, this man isn't worth it. Okay, that's about it. Luna's scene in this drama could end for now. I made an excuse that I was tired and sent everyone away. Then I turned off the live broadcast. Next, it was time for the male lead to appear. The reason Luna came first was that Jason happened to be out of town today. Thanks to Carter, I could accurately grasp the movements of each of them. Jason saw the live broadcast. He called me countless times and sent countless apology text messages. At 9 o'clock in the evening, Jason finally rushed back to City A. He didn't even have time to rest and came to see me in a hurry. But he didn't come alone. He also brought Carter with him. As soon as he saw me, he couldn't stop crying. Jia, I really didn't mean it. I just agreed to this plan in a moment of impatience. I looked at him coldly. Did you have a good time during this past month? I was in great pain. Jason simply knelt in front of me. At first, I just wanted to teach you a lesson and make you more obedient. But later, I had insomnia every day, and all I could think about was you. Even if all I thought about was you, it didn't stop you from buying breakfast for other women. Jason was stunned. I only regard Luna as a friend. If you don't like her, I won't have any contact with her in the future. But I think you two are a perfect match. No, Jason quickly shook his head. I don't like her at all. She's been spoiled by her family since she was a child, and she has a bad temper. I've been putting up with her all the time. Jia, you're the only one in my heart, stop it. Jason, you really make me sick. Could you just get out of here? I wouldn't be swayed by either soft or hard tactics, and Jason became even more panicked. He quickly turned around and asked Carter for advice. Carter, please help me persuade her. Me? You helped me cover up the lie, so you're also responsible. Hurry up and tell her. Carter didn't say anything definite. He walked up to me. Suddenly, he lowered his head and gave me a gentle kiss. Jia, you look so beautiful when you're scolding people. Jason completely broke down. He would rather suspect that he was blind than believe what had just happened. Until I took the initiative to put my arms around Carter's waist. Jason's eyes turned red with anger, and he was about to punch Carter. Of course, he was no match for Carter. While avoiding the punch, Carter didn't forget to protect me. Jason cursed angrily, I helped you. How could you steal my woman? First of all, Jia isn't anyone's woman. She belongs to herself. Secondly, you yourself said that as long as I helped you cover up this lie, we would be even. I've done it. It's just that Carter's way of doing it was rather special. Then you shouldn't take advantage of the situation. Don't you think you're despicable? Despicable? Yes, I am. Carter smiled. His peach blossom eyes narrowed into a nice curve. Jason, from the moment you decided to deceive her, this despicable person, was ready to take your place. 15 in the end, Jason was driven away by Carter. I also took the opportunity to delete his fingerprint unlock. He stood downstairs all night. Coincidentally, it rained all night. Jason was soaked all over, looking particularly affectionate and sad. But I just felt sick. Thinking that he had slept with Luna made me even more disgusted. At night, I asked Carter to carry me to the window. The curtain and the light would reflect our figures. When we were caught up in the passion, Carter bit my shoulder with his teeth. His eyes looked through a crack in the curtain at the downstairs. He seems to be going crazy. Let him go crazy. Carter trembled slightly. Judge, I'm so happy. Why? I've been waiting for this day for a long time. Jason really went crazy. He kept calling us and ran upstairs to bang on the door. Finally, I called the police, and then he calmed down. After one night, the live broadcast was still causing a stir. As for Luna, originally, our live broadcast didn't have such high popularity. But she cursed the wage earners, which made the live broadcast known to everyone. Luna's family background and work were all dug up thoroughly. The Luna family's company had just issued a public relations statement. Then someone released the conclusive evidence of Luna and Jason's affair. The video was particularly clear. Jason had drunk a lot and was supported by Luna. He teased, "Are you not afraid to let me stay at your place tonight?" Luna gave him a blank look. "We've known each other for so many years." "Who's afraid of whom?" "TSK, you're so bold. Let's see who begs for mercy first when we get inside." The two of them bickered and went into the house. Until then, the person who filmed it hadn't left. Until there were ambiguous sounds coming from inside the door. Someone's voice off the screen joked, "Hey, they're quite intense." Except for the two people involved, the voices of others had been processed. So it couldn't be seen who filmed the video or who was speaking. But I knew. It must be someone from their small group. Because Jason only hung out with them. And only they had the opportunity to film at close range. That day was Luna's birthday, and Carter had something to do and didn't show up. Excluding him, it could only be the other two boys. That seemingly unbreakable small group actually hid all kinds of dissatisfaction and contradictions. After the conclusive evidence of the affair was exposed, the scumbag and the mistress were pushed to the forefront. Jason's family ran a clothing brand. Consumers rushed to return the goods one after another. The company suffered huge losses. At this time, Jason did something. He pushed all the blame onto Luna. He absolved himself completely. 16 pretending to be missing was instigated by Luna. The affair was also because Luna seduced him. Jason also attached screenshots of their chat. Luna had sent him photos of her lingerie in the middle of the night. She asked him if this set looked good. Once the screenshots were released, it caused a huge uproar. Luna was cursed wildly on the internet. Even her family's restaurant was deliberately harassed and disrupted. Luna panicked. She argued, "We've known each other since we were children." In his eyes, I'm just like a boy. There was no intention of seducing him at all. Unexpectedly, this argument made netizens even more dissatisfied. "It's so disgusting. When you two were hooking up, why didn't you say you were a boy? I really hate the heterosexual friendship without a sense of boundaries. Advise sisters not to date guys who are in a small group." Luna lost her job and was at the end of her rope. She came to ask Carter for help. On the day she came to see Carter, I was also there. Seeing Luna's haggard and anxious face on the video doorbell, Carter didn't open the door for her. Instead, he asked me, "Should we see her or not?" "It's up to you." "Yes, of course we should see her. Let's see what she has to say." "Okay." I withdrew into the room to give them space for conversation. But the sound insulation was average. Their conversation all reached my ears. Luna said with a sobbing voice, "Carter, only you can help me now." Carter was nonchalant. "How can I help you?" "I know that you're with Arya now." "Yes. You were just playing around with her, right? Your family conditions are better than all of ours. There's no way you'd take a fancy to an ordinary girl like Arya." "What do you mean by ordinary girl?" Carter asked coldly. "We're all ordinary people, Luna." At this point, What exactly are you still being so arrogant about? Luna was choked for a moment and didn't dare to go against him. Anyway, as long as you stand up and say that all of this was directed and acted by Arya herself in order to cheat on you with me. After it's done, I'll introduce you to even more beautiful girls. Carter sneered, in your dreams. Luna got anxious, aren't we good friends? Without Arya, who would be friends with you? What? What? Don't understand? Then let me put it more clearly, back then, it was because of Arya that I joined your hypocritical little group. This time, not only Luna was shocked. I was also surprised. Carter said slowly, I met Arya in my freshman year and was deeply impressed by her. Unfortunately, at that time, I didn't have time to ask for her name and contact information. By the time I saw her again, she was already with Jason. Luna took a sharp breath. You joined us, was it just for? Yes, to wait for the right moment to steal her away. Are you crazy? They'd been dating for 2 years. I've also been waiting for 2 years. Carter showed a proud smile. Hard work pays off. Finally, I got this opportunity. Then when you agreed to help Jason cover up the lie, it was actually also. Carter nodded. On the surface, it was to repay Jason's favor. But actually, from the very beginning, I had my own plan. In this grand farce, everyone had their own motives. Only Carter had been hiding his until the very end. Luna's face turned pale. Carter, you're so scheming. The same to you. After Luna left, I crossed my arms and said to Carter, well, you even kept it from me. If I didn't hide it from you, how could I win you over? What do you mean? Carter seemed a bit helpless. On the surface, I was Jason's good buddy. If I had revealed my true intentions earlier, you wouldn't have considered me at all. So, I thought about it and decided to be the bad guy. I took the initiative to seduce you and made you fall in love with me instead. All the blame would be on me. Carter appeared in my life as a repentant. He took care of every little thing for me. He pretended to casually show off his good figure. Without anyone else knowing, he performed a one-man show of male rivalry. What if your plan had ultimately failed? I asked. It wouldn't matter. Carter smiled gently. At least when you were sad, I was there with you. That's enough. Luna was left alone and had no choice but to flee City A in a sorry state. Her family's business was severely hit, and their funds shrank. She could no longer be the pampered young lady. However, I wasn't quite satisfied. Obviously, both of them were at fault. Why should Jason get away scot-free? I didn't have any dirt on Jason. But I believed that someone else must have. Those who used to be closest to him must know something. So I found Luna's Weibo. I sent her an anonymous private message. Poor sister, it's clearly the scumbag's fault. Why should you take all the blame alone? Sister, don't let the scumbag off easily. I support you. Hee, who can't play the role of a scheming woman? As I expected, Luna was now alone and helpless, but as long as she got a little support, she would go crazy precisely. She began to frantically post evidence of Jason bullying classmates in the past. It was something that happened in middle school. Jason broke a boy's arm. In the end, Jason's family threw out tens of thousands of yuan to settle the matter. That year, Jason was even named an excellent student. Originally, this kind of revelation might not have received much attention. But it just so happened that Jason's family's clothing brand had just finished a business battle. The rival company saw this and thought it was like having a pillow when they were sleepy. They immediately bought traffic and hot searches for Luna's revelations. Thus, Jason's good guy mask was shattered so thoroughly, things got worse and worse. More and more people came out to expose Jason. There was basically no chance for him to turn things around. Coincidentally, Jason had a younger brother. Seeing that the situation was not right, Jason's family immediately abandoned the main business and focused on other smaller aspects. Losing his family's protection, Jason fell from the clouds into the mud. He muddled through his days, drowning his sorrows in alcohol. He had always liked drinking. I had advised him to quit many times before, but he thought I was annoying. Now, he finally suffered because of alcohol. One night, drunk Jason was hit by a speeding car. He injured one of his legs. The doctor said that he would be lame for the rest of his life. After the accident, the traffic police checked the surveillance. It was Jason who violated the traffic rules, ran the red light randomly, and crossed the road without permission. The driver didn't need to take any responsibility. A few days later, there were unexpected visitors. It was Jason's parents. I wasn't completely unfamiliar with his parents. I had met them before. However, they were both smiling tigers. On the surface, they were kind, but in fact, they looked down on my family background in their hearts and even helped Jason act in the play together. Unexpectedly, now they came to beg me. Jaja, Auntie has been pretty nice to you usually, right? I smiled. Just tell me what you want directly. Jason has indeed done something wrong. We've seriously criticized him. But look, Uncle, Auntie, and our company are all innocent. What do you mean? Could you write a letter of understanding? Just say that this matter is over and you won't hold it against us anymore. I wanted to laugh. How thick-skinned one must be to make such a request. But, I had already planned it. I sniffed a couple of times, and soon my eyes were filled with tears. Uncle, Auntie, I know you've been nice to me, and I don't have the heart to drag you down either. But the harm Jason did to me was really too great. I've been having nightmares these days, and my friends all suggested that I go see a psychologist. My tears flowed down like they were free. Uncle, Auntie, I'm really suffering and in pain. I loved him so much. How could he deceive me? Yes, it's all Jason's fault. The two of them looked at each other. Jaja, otherwise, Uncle and Auntie will give you some compensation. How much money do you want? I waved my hands in horror. Definitely not. I don't want money. It would be a joke. If I dared to ask for money, it would be blackmail. 200,000? This isn't something that can be solved with money. 400,000? Auntie, my feelings for Jason can't be measured by money at all. 500,000. Alas, I sighed, I'd better go see a psychologist. I just refused to take the money. I just repeatedly emphasized that I had suffered a serious mental blow. One day later, suddenly 1 million yuan appeared in my bank card. The attached note said, voluntary compensation for mental damages. 19. I looked at the incoming payment text message and smiled happily. Carter said, "You want money? I can also give it to you. It's different. This is what I deserve." Whether it was Jason or Carter, I had never coveted their family backgrounds or money. But what should belong to me, I would never be coy or refuse. What's next? Carter asked. Are you really going to forgive them? Yes, of course. After all, I've taken their money. I still had to have this bit of moral integrity. I directly filmed a forgiveness video. However, in the video, I cried again and again. While saying that I forgave them, my tears didn't stop flowing at all. I made sure that once this forgiveness video was sent out, Jason wouldn't get any forgiveness from netizens. Before, Jason disliked me for crying easily. But he didn't know. I cried just because I was born with active tear glands and rich emotions. It didn't mean that I was weak inside. On Christmas Day, Carter and I were walking hand in hand on the street. Suddenly, he stopped and pointed at the milk tea shop in front. I first met you right there. That was the milk tea shop where I worked part-time in my freshman year. That day I was so tired and went to sit in the shop for a while. You brought me a cup of hot water. Carter remembered that day and a gentle smile appeared at the corners of his eyes. You said it didn't matter if I didn't buy milk tea. The boss had already left, and I could rest there without worry. I touched my nose. I remember now. At that time, I thought you couldn't afford milk tea. Who knew you were rich enough to buy our whole shop? Carter laughed out loud. Then you grabbed a handful of snacks and went to feed the stray cats at the door. I still remember that scene even now. But later, when he came to this milk tea shop again and wanted to formally introduce himself, I had already quit the part-time job. After going around in circles, he finally found me. But I had become Jason's girlfriend. Carter didn't say anything that day. He just lowered his sad eyes and was all alone. In these 2 years, he watched me act coquettishly and hug Jason. But these weren't the most painful things. The most painful thing was that Jason didn't cherish me. The person he regarded as a precious treasure and couldn't reach was treated as an annoying accessory by Jason. He struggled constantly between morality and feelings. Finally, Jason took the initiative to give him the opportunity. This time, to hell with morality. Carter thought that even if he was scolded to death, he still wanted to give it a try. I couldn't help sighing. Carter, with this perseverance of yours, you could succeed in anything. Yes. He looked at me seriously. So, take me with you to study abroad, okay? I was stunned for a moment. How did you know? I needed the money from Jason's family because I wanted to study abroad. I wanted to learn more knowledge and get to know the wider world. After receiving the money, I sent an email to my favorite tutor abroad. Unexpectedly, the tutor was very interested in my undergraduate experience. Because I had done a lot of part-time jobs and participated in many social practices. They liked students like me very much. The tutor was willing to accept me, and all that was left was to wait for the start of the next semester. Sorry. I didn't mean to hide it from you. I just didn't know how to tell you. Jia, in front of me, you don't need to have any concerns. Carter kissed my hand affectionately. I'm very familiar with Country U. I used to go there often. It's just a matter of buying a plane ticket. If you don't mind, I'd rather be your accompanying student. My eyes lit up. Really? Since you've tasted the dishes I cooked, are you afraid that I can't take good care of you? No, no, no. I'm just worried that being an accompanying student might waste your time. Carter shook his head. My parents are planning to hand over the business in Country U to me recently. Then it's settled. Would you like to meet my parents? It's a bit too early. Thinking of the way Jason's parents looked down on me behind my back, I felt a bit timid. Carter saw through my thoughts. I've already mentioned you to my parents, and they all like you very much. You like braised hairtail. My mother was afraid that I couldn't cook it well, so she taught me herself. We talked about our daily family life with each other, holding hands, and walked through the first snow of this year. 9 months later, Carter and I boarded the plane to Country U together. Both my parents and Carter's parents came to see us off. Carter's father kept telling him, when you get there, you must take good care of Jia. Cook whatever she likes to eat. If you don't have enough money, just tell me, and I'll transfer some to you. Sure enough, Carter's family was wealthy. Carter's mother was also busy bustling around. Have you brought everything? Jia, if Carter bullies you, just tell me. Let's see if I won't rush to Country U to beat him up. Don't feel pressured. Just focus on your studies. Thank you, Uncle and Aunt. Mom and Dad, we're leaving now. The weather was sunny today, which was suitable for flying. I was about to head for a better future. The future was ahead, and my beloved was by my side. Everything was just right. May we never be bound by labels. Whether we are thin or love to cry. As long as we are brave inside, we will always shine.